Hello all, welcome to my channel. Today's topic is a revenge tragedy. Name of the tragedy is The Spanish Tragedy, which is written by Thomas Kyd. The Spanish tragedy or Hieronymo is mad again. Another name for this tragedy is The Hieronymo is Mad Again is an Elizabethan tragedy written by Thomas Kyd between 1582 and 1592. Highly popular and influential in its time, the Spanish tragedy established a new genre in English theatre, the revenge play or revenge tragedy. See what revenge play is. The revenge tragedy or revenge play is a dramatic genre in which the protagonist seeks revenge for an imagined or actual injury. The term revenge tragedy was first introduced in 1900 by A.H. Thorndike to label a class of plays written in the Elizabethan and early Jacobean eras. So hope you understood what a revenge tragedy is. The play Spanish Tragedy contains several violent murders and includes as one of its characters a personification of revenge. The Spanish tragedy is often considered to be the first mature Elizabethan drama, a claim disputed with Christopher Marlowe's The Temple Line, and has been parodied by many Elizabethan and Jacobean playwrights including Marlowe, William Shakespeare, and Ben Jonson. Many elements of the Spanish tragedy, such as the play within a play, used to trap a murderer and a ghost intent on vengeance, appear in Shakespeare's Hamlet also. So this is its similarity with Hamlet, written by Shakespeare. A brief summary of the Spanish tragedy. In the introduction to the play, the ghost of the Spanish courtier Don Andrea explains its history. After Andrea was slain in a battle against Portugal, his ghost made its way through the underworld only to find itself sent back to earth. The character Revenge, his guide, tells him that he has been sent back to witness his former lover Belimperia kill Balthasar, the author of death. The ghost and Revenge sit down to watch the spectacle unfold. I repeat, in the introduction to the play, the ghost of the Spanish courtier Don Andrea explains its history. After Andrea was slain in a battle against Portugal, his ghost made its way through the underworld only to find itself sent back to earth. The character Revenge, his guide, tells him that he has been sent back to witness his former lover Belimperia kill Balthasar, the author of death. The ghost and Revenge sit down to watch the spectacle unfold. In the opening act, the Spanish forces return from their victory over Portugal. The general gives an account of the battle to the king, explaining that they have reached a state of peace conditional and they have captured the Portuguese prince Balthasar. The Duke of Castelli's son Lorenzo and the Marshal Hieronymo's son Horatio, however, dispute their respective roles in capturing the Portuguese prince. The king rewards them both. Meanwhile, in Portugal, the viceroy laments his son's death. The loyal Alexandro tells him that his son is in fact still alive. Another nobleman, Villupo, however, declares that he saw Alexandro shoot Balthasar in the back. Alexandro is immediately imprisoned. In Spain, Horatio recounts the battle to Belimperia, Lorenzo's sister and Andrea's former lover. The two begin to fall in love. In the same scene, Balthasar also expresses his love for Belimperia. The Portuguese ambassador arrives and Hieronymo stages a mass for him and the king. The act closes with Revenge foreboding a general demise. In the second act, the King of Spain attempts to arrange a marriage between Belimperia and Balthasar. Belimperia, however, is in love with Horatio. As the two make their way to a secluded bower, the servant Pedringano betrays them to Lorenzo and Balthasar. Horatio is hung from an arbor and stabbed to death. Hieronymo enters to find his son's body and vows revenge. The ghost expresses dismay at the turn of events, but Revenge advises him to be patient. The viceroy discovers the truth about his son in the third act. He immediately sets Alexandro free and condemns Villapo to a painful death. In Spain, Belemperia is held captive but manages to send Hieronymo a letter in which she reveals the identity of Horatio's killers. Lorenzo, on the other hand, attempts to purge all evidence of the murder. He makes Pedringano shoot Cerberin, Balthazar's servant who was present at the murder scene, and then plots successfully to have Pedringano himself hanged. Pedringano's last letter to Lorenzo, however, falls into Hieronymo's hands. Hieronymo thus confirms Belemperia's accusations and resolves to demand justice before the king. At home, his wife Isabel runs lunatic. Like his wife, Hieronymo shows distinct signs of madness. He contemplates suicide but again vows to first exact revenge for Horatio's death. The Portuguese ambassador, meanwhile, arrives with good news. The viceroy has consented to the marriage between Balthazar and Belemperia, whom Lorenzo has just released from captivity. Hieronymo calls for justice before the king but undermines himself by falling into a frenzy. Later, several citizens come to petition Hieronymo, but once again Hieronymo is carried away in an ecstatic fit. The viceroy believes himself arrives at the end of the act. While the nuptial celebrations are prepared, the Duke confronts Lorenzo and Hieronymo about the negative rumors surrounding the two. Hieronymo denies any wrongdoing on Lorenzo's part, and Belemperia seems to have reconciled with Balthazar. The ghost is alarmed at such an unexpected turn of events, but Revenge once again reassures him that all is well, or for the characters in the tragedy quite amiss. In the final act, Belemperia and Hieronymo work together to exact their revenge on Lorenzo and Balthazar. Hieronymo wrote a tragedy in his youth, which the two young men now act out for the royal audience. Back in the arbor where Horatio was murdered, Isabella commits suicide. As for Hieronymo's play, the plot is executed smoothly and Lorenzo and Balthazar are killed on stage. Belemperia too commits suicide. The king, the viceroy, and the duke are all horrified when they discover that the play seemed to merely be a simulation. They demand to know Hieronymo's motives, but the latter bites off his tongue, stabs the duke, and finally commits suicide. So, this is only a brief summary of the tragedy, Spanish tragedy. Hope you understood. Try to analyze this tragedy and try to read more about this play and try to understand the important themes and the techniques used in this tragedy. Okay, thank you.